Oh, I am being different today.
You're always different.
Well, I mean, yeah, but um I'm hanging out on the what Christine and I jokingly call the casting couch. It's the couch that we film our anime reactions on, and I don't know, tired of moving it back and forth for if it's just me at the desk, and if it's her and I, then with the couch and stuff. But it is what it is.
You just look
Why
far away.
to you I do because
Yeah.
I'm on a webcam over here, but of course to our wonderful audience they get to see me via the nice mirrorless camera that I've got. We got some stuff to talk about. I've got red flashing lights and stuff. I was thinking about maybe adding some sound effects. Maybe I did. And if I did, then it would be like, oh no, Manny, it's the Disney Delay-Pocalypse. Movies are being pushed all the way to the right. That's how I would do it with some sound effects.
Nah.
Hello. Oh, I screwed up. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre here on the Genreverse YouTube channel and Genreverse Podcast Network, available on all your favorite podcast apps like Spotify and Apple and Amazon and more. I'm Kyle. That's Manny. If you're listening to us on that favorite app of yours, follow us and leave a comment or some sort of interaction. It would be greatly appreciated. And then of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button if it's something you haven't done already. If you have, thank you very, very, very much. lrmonline.com, every day for all your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. Don't forget AVR plus Manny at AX this year, Anime Expo, July 3rd. As of right now, still 10 a.m. Room 402. We will be doing a panel talking anime's influence on raising kids. Manny is moderating, and should be a lot of fun. And the Disney Delay-Pocalypse, Manny, something that has been rumored and something that was just logically coming given recent events, but it happened. And Disney's delayed some Marvel stuff. Disney's delayed some Star Wars stuff, and Disney also told us that I would be like 46 years old by the time the final Avatar movie comes out in 2031. And at 46 years old, I will have seen exactly one Avatar movie, and not even in its entirety. So yeah, let's take a look at this, guys, real quick. If you're watching this on YouTube, I do have it up on screen. Starting with Marvel. Well, let's just say, this comes from a lot of things. There's increased cost. There's been a bunch of changes. We know that there are cast issues, and I don't mean like issues with getting people cast. I mean cast members have issues in the Marvel universe, at least. You think of Tanakh, the guy that played Namor, recently had some accusations. Of course, Kang, the actor that plays Jonathan Majors, has had legal issues as well. The writers' strike that is actually going on has already put a damper on things that are in production now, let alone things that were being written. You've got the Screen Actors Guild that authorized a strike. And yeah, things had to get pushed. So Marvel, as my computer is being silly with this thing, Marvel, of course, has a whole bunch of stuff that everyone was waiting on. You saw Captain America Brave New World get pushed from May of 24 until July 26th of 24. Thunderbolts is now on December 20th, 2024. Blade got pushed to February 25. Fantastic Four got pushed to May 25. And of course, they are saying that the two big Avengers films pushed to 26 and 27 May of each. Deadpool 3 got moved up, though, because we were told that they were continuing to film without writers, and that what's his name? Reynolds would not be able to ad lib or anything like that. So it actually got pushed from November 8th of next year to May 3rd of next year. So that's still getting 3 Marvel movies in a year. This year we got what? Ant-Man, frickin' Guardians, and we're getting the Marvels. I honestly don't even think Secret Wars will hit until like 28, maybe, Manny. I don't know. What do you think about the Marvel push and the Delay-Pocalypse in general before we talk any of the other dates for like Star Wars and stuff?
It's like the best thing that could have happened to them because they had really nothing ready to go. I mean, they're still, as far as I know, they're still kind of trying to figure out who their Fantastic Four are going to be. They're going to trying to figure out what they're going to do with Jonathan Majors. Delays, honestly, probably
helpful.
Very, very helpful, especially because it seems like they're in the middle of reorganizing from this amazing billion project slate that they presented at Comic-Con to now figuring out which of the 3 or 4 that best suits them a year is going to go forward. So not surprised, especially with everything going on. The strike was, like I said, probably a godsend for them because it lets them have a little bit more time to figure it out. How they've had all this time to try to figure out Star Wars and they still can't do it. So, I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
What's a little bit more time? So I mean, like we really won't see the effect of it right now because there's so many projects for the rest of the year from everyone that are coming out. Hell, you have like 3 new movies coming out this weekend. We have Indy coming out. Then like on the same weekend, in July, we have Oppenheimer and Barbie. And then
Mission Impossible comes
out. At some point, Mission Impossible is coming out. Blue Beetle, the Marvels or whatever it's called.
The Marvels.
Yeah. and The Nun and The Last Insidious. And I mean, like it goes on and on and on.
Aquaman, don't forget Aquaman.
That's at the end of the year. Nobody cares about that movie anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I'm more interested in seeing what happens in 2024 if we kind of scale back a little bit, which obviously we will, from television also as well. So yeah, it's just part of what's going to happen. What I think though is some of these projects that are wrapping up now that are continuing to film, or that managed to get all their writing done right before, if they're gonna have the same effect that what was it, not Sky, I keep wanting to see Skyrim, the James Bond movie, Skyfall had, where you can tell that in the 3rd act it just fell off a cliff, and it was because they literally rushed to finish it before the strike. That happened back then. So yeah, it
makes me worried about Deadpool 3, thinking they filmed it without Brian being able to be Brian for a Deadpool movie. I
didn't really care for the second one anyway, and that's with writers. So yeah, because it's really the same thing, and then the third one was going to be the same thing.
Zazie Beetz is not going to be in it, and I know that was probably she was probably your least favorite part of the second film. No, I'm joking.
She's a great actress and everything, and honestly, I don't know why anybody would want to do a third one, especially with Disney.
I like Deadpool, but you're right. That's the key thing right there. Why would you want to? And then you have Rob Liefeld, however you want to say it, coming out and saying online that this is more of a Wolverine movie than Deadpool movie. And it's like, for the love of God, the guy's already had like 10 freaking movies. We don't need another Wolverine movie. It's a Deadpool movie that Wolverine is for some stupid fracking reason in it.
Well, they needed to have something to get people's attention, because what else? What are they gonna do? Because it literally falls flat as far as it's the same. It's like Deadpool cosplayers at conventions. They're really annoying at times because they feel like by putting on the outfit, it gives them the right to be very obnoxious.
I think you hate the cosplayers more than you hate the actual character or movie, man.
I've always like the character's always been fine, but sometimes when I don't care if you want to act like the character, and for the most
Yeah.
part, because most cosplayers are very respectful and they have a really good time.
Mhm.
There's no better time for me than to walk around and enjoy groups of cosplayers doing the thing, because where else are you going to do it? Number one, and
Mhm.
it's just a great atmosphere because you can tell everybody really not only enjoys showing off their costume, but enjoys kind of being part of that world of whatever make believe,
Yeah.
your being in your favorite comics and your favorite shows. But when you take that and then you start really being obnoxious and kind of almost making others uncomfortable, especially people who aren't necessarily used to the comic book circuit,
Yeah.
or that it's just kind of annoying. But
Well,
to each their
I
own.
I liked both movies. Of course, the first one better than the second one. I still, as better as this Juggernaut in the second one was than Vinnie Jones in X3. They still are afraid to do the helmet. I don't get it. Why is Fox so scared to have the Juggernaut look like the freaking Juggernaut? You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
still did some big, bulky, like stone looking helmet things. Oh, in this movie of mutants and people with superpowers, I just don't think the people would really buy that a thin red helmet would keep the Juggernaut, would work. No, dude, it's like you just said, it's filled with mutants and powers and stuff. I mean, frack, the Wolverine has the metal skeleton. I mean, just call it that. I hated that. It was so annoying. Anyways, we can kind of talk about Disney's other delays, including Star Wars and Avatar, which I kind of mentioned earlier that the last one would hit when I was like 46 years old. The 2025 movie date for Star Wars that they insisted would happen has been moved to May of 2026, while also maintaining the December 18, 2026 film. So that means Star Wars will have 2 movies in 1 year. I think that's a terrible mistake. And then there's an additional movie in 27 or 28. I can't remember. And Movie Web, who I'm reading from, they don't have it on here right now. But still, there are 3 Star Wars movies that were dated. Live action Moana also coming out in 2025. Pardon me, 1 second. Hello. Hello. How can I help you? Well, if you're not going to tell me who you actually are, I'm just going to hang up on you. So anyway, sorry about that. That was my my business number ringing, and of course we've got stuff out for AX, so I wanted to make sure I answered it anyways. And then they announced all 5 Avatar films, with the next one coming out in December 25. So much for, or excuse me, December 24. No, it was set for 24 and it's hitting in 25. Sorry, thank you. So 25, 26, or 25, 29, and 31. There you go. There they are. All Decembers, 25, 29, and 31 for the rest of the Avatar films. I think the Star Wars thing, man, the one that really like weirded me out was having 2 movies in one year. They struggled with 1 movie a year. And Cam brought up a good point about, well, like the Rey one they've been working on for a long time, and that seems to be the one that will potentially go over to from December to May. I don't trust them. And also you're gonna have the Rey thing and likely the where we're guessing it's the Filoni Thrawn movie, Mando verse movie that'll both hit there in 2026. But dude, I don't trust them. I don't. I don't know. What do you think, Star Wars and Avatar?
I really don't care for either, so it's fine. You can delay them as long as you want. Like
Oh,
I haven't
man.
seen, I still haven't seen the second Avatar,
Nope. I have no
and
interest in it.
and
I
you
don't
can
care.
and you can announce as many dates as you want. As of right now, I believe many of those are going to be pushed back again.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I don't know why they're why they even bother. I guess they have to announce it because they need to.
Investors and
Yeah. So that like
filings,
yeah
things to get the process
get
going, things to hold it.
yeah
Yeah.
hold the certain IMAX screens that they want and things like that. So that I understand. But other than that, like it's just we just live in a really crazy world right now, and
Don't we?
and just I mean just top to bottom. So um, I don't foresee some of these dates continuing to I don't that they're gonna stick they're gonna have
Do
to
you,
change them again.
let's play hypotheticals here. Let's say the strike ends in the next 60 days. Do you think some of these that were pushed to from 25 to like 26 or beyond, do you think there's a chance that those get actually moved back towards 25 versus keeping their newer 26 27 dates?
Absolutely not. They were struggling already to try and figure it out. I mean, they were. I feel like they were even sweating to announce them over during Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
Because just you don't have anything necessarily. I feel like Star Wars. I mean, Superman Legacy has made more progress than some of these films, and James Gunn has only just been working on it for so long.
Yeah.
And so it was just but they are kind of in a restructuring phase with Iger having to come back and Disney Plus having to figure out what they want to be, and eventually
how to fail less hard.
yeah, and then eventually now if the rumors are true, merging with Hulu
Yeah.
to try and make it more accessible and so things that other studios were doing before, like Warner Brothers, they're barely doing now.
I've been one of those. I've said it's one of the worst things to complain about, first world of first world problems. But I hate leaving an app and going into another one just to find something. Like that really freaking annoys the hell out of me, because I grew up with instantaneous channel changes. Once we got past the dial, she had to manually churn at grandma and grandpa's house. But instantaneous channel switches. And depending on the device you're using, depending on, are you using a console, are you using a TV, is it a high-end TV, low-end TV, it can take varying amounts of time to back out of one and go into another. So I have been for a long time scratching my head at why companies with multiple keep them separate. And especially after they added the Netflix stuff and things like Deadpool to Disney Plus, it was the whole idea of, it's the family friendly side only, went out the window. So at this point, mix them all up.
And the thing is, you can't you limit yourself as far as an audience, because sure, you have your people like Nat Geo, and then you have your people who love Disney, but that's really it. Like where do you get your action from? Like Marvel movies? No, those are cookie cutter movies. You have your group of people at Hulu who don't give a damn about Marvel or Star Wars, but they love their American Horror Story. They love their
Bob's Burgers and
things
Fox
like that,
animation stuff. Yeah.
So you put them all together, and now you can almost put in the numbers to compete with Netflix like you've been doing, because up to now, I'm very curious as to what that will look like once they merge, because obviously the numbers go down because you're no longer counting individual Hulu subscribers and individual Disney subscribers. Now they're just one. And like at my household, we have both. So it's gonna. I want to see where, or if they even say anything at all about it, because the thing with streaming in general that's really annoying is that there's no really way to gauge actual numbers unless they release them. And you only really hear about it when they did something good. And then you could assume the worst when something gets canceled. So it's you know, it is what it is. What I'm looking forward to, and just to see how it plays out or how it's explained. Last year at Comic-Con, and I talked about this earlier, we got this giant slate of 300 projects in the next couple of years that we were going to get. I wonder what that's going to look like this year during the panel.
I agree.
How are you
if
going
they
to
even have one?
Yeah, well, it's true. How are they going to explain that, and or are they just going to be like, "Hey, look, we cast half the Fantastic Four," or they're going to
X-Men something?
Nah,
I think they're holding off. They're holding off on that because I think the name change from New World Order to Brave New World. One, I hope they're not really truly doing a reference to the book, because they've already done the Big Brother government thing bad with Civil War and with the Winter Soldier. But I do think the Brave New World is maybe a play at the mutants thing. And I'm wondering if they're just waiting for Cap 4 and Thunderbolts, which are alleged to deal with some mutants stuff. The Thunderbolts is alleged. Captain America 4, I'm just theorizing. I'm wondering if that's when we'll get some X, because you know we still have no X-Men.
Nah,
anything.
They're not doing
anything. And I'm not talking a movie. I'm just talking about.
They're just gonna name drop it again.
So, yeah, probably.
Yeah, they're just gonna keep dangling that carrot. No, it's the same thing as that She-Hulk thing. They're gonna keep dangling that carrot.
Yeah.
And now with how far Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars is, you were better off leaving the X-Men with Fox and I mean they bought them as a whole company. It's not like Fox exists.
They were better off already having it planned for them to come in. They knew, especially once the deal was approved and they were just waiting on it to clear and the checks to clear and the ink to dry. They should have already had this shit planned. That's on Kevin. That's on not Iger, the other guy, Chapek. That's on Bob number 2, because him and Feige for trying to boost the Disney Plus thing, content amount, and they were like, oh, we'll have plenty of time. No.
Hey, but you wanted to have all your female leads in every movie in Phase 4, so you got that now. I mean, that's what we did, right? All men bad and women good. You see how
that's just about all we did. The Hulk got nerfed. Phase 4.
The Hulk got nerfed. Thor got nerfed.
Yeah.
I mean, Iron Man's dead. Captain's dead. I mean,
or at least super old and on the moon. Before we get into some more Marvel stuff, just a quick side I thought that was kind of interesting. Speaking of streaming services and apocalypses, the password sharing crackdown for Netflix actually started going into effect. It went into effect here in the US in late May. After that, Netflix had the 4 single largest days of US subscription additions since 2019. Netflix gained 100,000 new signups between May 26th and May 27th. Duh. It's all a bunch of talk, man. The people, I won't do it. I won't sign up for it. You were like, oh crap, I'm gonna lose my Stranger Things or my reality TV show or whatever it was, and you kept it. Now, whether or not mommy and daddy or whoever is still paying for it for you and just added the extra thing, I don't know. But the point is that Netflix actually gained subscriptions, and guess what? That 100,000 new signups is more money for Netflix to reinvest in new or existing projects. films and TV shows. Literally, guys, you just gave them more money to give you what you want. Do you see how that transaction works? Does that make sense to you now? Come on, guys. Come on now. Listen to Manny and Kyle. We're right on all this stuff usually.
Actually, surprisingly, we are. Sometimes I'm like, oh, look, we're right again.
Anyways, Manny actually saw a couple of episodes of Secret Invasion. I'm not sure how much you can talk to us about it, Manny, but what can you say about Secret Invasion?
Well, basically, I could just give you my first reactions to the show, and it's pretty good. It's different than what Marvel has offered before, as far as it feels a lot less Disney. A little bit more noir, a lot more spy thriller, and the aspect of not knowing who the enemy is because it could be a Skrull is actually really interesting. But it's definitely a slow burn. I will say that. I don't mind because I'm a little bit older now and I don't need just things flashing in my face every 10 seconds. So kind of a la Andor, where like you just kind of have to be a little patient with it. I feel like that's going to be the same case with Secret Invasion. But my biggest reservation is that I have been hoodwinked by Marvel before as far as their television shows. A lot of their television shows start very strong and then just can't stick the landing. Basically, along the middle somewhere, they just lose their way and completely miss the point. I felt like that was the case with She-Hulk, where it did start as the kind of the court processional drama comedy that we were gonna get, and even past the whole episode with Megan the Stallion and everything, I thought we were on track, kind of, and then it completely fell off the rails. Moon Knight, I completely lost interest in the last 2 episodes. Miss Marvel, same thing. It started off really strong, very, very good family ties and very good. I
was enjoying that first
growth.
episode and a half, 2.5.
And then also I felt like it lost its way near the end. Same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I really thought that it was good, but man, they just kept shoving messages down your throat to the point where it got a little uncomfortable, and I felt like it's really annoying how a lot of Disney in general hates to have villains now that are actually bad. They always,
and it's not even to sell toys, because they're not really selling toys anymore. It's just like anyways, continue. I'm with you.
Like, there's some people who just want to watch the world burn, and that's okay. And we have the good guys who need to stop them. We don't need to empathize with them every single time. Some people are bad.
And when you do have bad ones, they don't necessarily need to be cardboard mustache twirling bad guys, because that's about the only time that you get a real true bad guy, and it'll usually be connected to some social aspect, but there's no depth to them. They're just
Guardians did a good job at having a good villain. That guy was just evil, and I was like, basic, let's just do that. That was really good. But yeah, I enjoyed it so far. A lot. Just be ready for a lot of Samuel Jackson staring into the camera very sternly, and kind of making me feel like he did something bad. And
tell me that was bad, Sam. tell me that I was bad.
So I'm definitely in still.
Okay.
I said, cautiously optimistic because I've been bamboozled too many times before.
We all have. Yeah.
And
it's just like trailers that look good, and you're like, yeah, man, that looked good, and then you get
honestly,
there,
I didn't like the trailer for this one at all.
No, I've not been thoroughly impressed with any of the trailers for this one so far.
Yeah, there was an eyebrow raising moment in the second episode where I was like, oh, okay, so we are allowed to do certain things. So I thought it's a good change of pace. So do you think
it's gonna matter to the larger narrative at all?
It actually might. Or it just might tie
into the
some
Marvels.
in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
tie some loose ends as far as some characters and things like that.
Yeah.
Specifically, I'm thinking maybe Nick Fury,
Maria Fury.
and Maria Fury. Yeah.
I said Maria and Fury.
Oh, I thought you said like Maria Fury. Is like, what are you insinuating, sir?
Maria Hill and Nick
Maria Hill.
Fury.
Yeah. So, I'm in for now, and we'll see. It's just really annoying when I get, because now I can't even be like super excited about it, because then like later it bites me in the ass where it's like, hey, didn't you really like this show? And it's like, yes, you said it right. I really did like this show. But now,
once upon a time.
but it just it fell off the rails, and I don't know what you want me to do. It's annoying.
Like I said, my biggest thing is that I don't have the care anymore. You saying it's good because I take your thoughts more than others because I know you and I know what you like and stuff like that. So that gives me hope that I will enjoy it. But I'm still sitting here like I don't care. Like I just and I want to and that's the thing, audience. Like I want to care. I want to get back to where I was excited each time you heard Marvel announce something, each time you saw a new trailer. I want to get back to those days. But it's gonna take a lot to undo what phase 4 did. I know that sounds so weird, guys, but literally, for better or worse, Marvel set this incredibly high bar with the Infinity Saga. And for everyone, I'm looking at you, Janet, that goes, oh, well, they have to start fresh for the new people. But they've already got the formula. They already know how to do it. They've already got the teams, the writers, that they've got the infrastructure. There was no excuse for things to be so poorly edited, poorly designed, poorly written, poorly not graphics, that wouldn't make right, but the VFX looks and things like that. There was no excuse for it other than they were trying to do too much at once to fill Disney Plus. That is a huge issue.
I wonder if Infinity Saga would be different if they would have had to have dealt with streaming.
Oh God, yeah. Because
Marvel movies, especially Marvel movies in the Infinity Saga, were an event.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yes,
we're talking because and this also was in the I can say it's funny I can say this because it feels so long ago. Back in the day, when you had to line up.
Go to the theaters,
in theaters for your good seats because there wasn't any reservations yet.
Yeah, that was very few and far between.
So when we went on Thursday night to go see whatever the movie was, we were having dinner at 3, so we can get in line at 4:30 for our 7 movie, and it wasn't us; it was an entire theater of people who were in line with us. And you got excited together, and then you clapped, and you
when that Marvel title started roll, like
it used to be quite the event, and now it's kind of like, oh yeah, sure, I'll go watch the next one. So
maybe,
but I do think that I just wonder how much streaming really poisoned the creativity.
So much. I don't think people quite understand so much, and it all comes down to our consumption methods and expectations. We feel entitled to content. Look at going back to that Netflix the Netflix password thing. People throwing a fit over the very idea of having to pay for their own entertainment. It was frustrating to me, dude. Like legitimately frustrating to listen to adults bitch and complain about having to pay for their own entertainment. My God, how do you guys think entertainment is made? Like I said, we We have this entitlement mentality to it, and streaming really fed that. People had this idea that the dream was unlimited content at your fingertips, but the idea of paying for it, of course, was ridiculous to them, or paying a lot for it. You could theoretically make streaming services relatively profitable if you could maintain the same subscriber base today, scale down the content a bit, but charge like $30. Then you could actually see streaming have a lot more original shows and movies and things like that. But if you start charging everyone $30 for your service, most aren't gonna keep it, right? They'll jump in for a show and then they'll jump out. That was one of the things, like when you started seeing streaming services release more shows weekly versus binging it, a full season dump, because people were doing what? Ordering it for that 1 month, watching that show once it dropped, all in the first week or two, and then canceling their subscriptions. It doesn't work that way. You cannot make enough money to continue on making content that way. So the way streaming has to work in the end is less original content, more licensed content, less services. But we have to be willing to, pay for that and enjoy that. Otherwise, man, the final answer is just less of everything. Just legitimately less of everything. And I don't want to hear about, executive pay this, executive pay that. That's a drop in the bucket when you look at the billions of dollars this stuff takes to run. There are a few $1 million. Yes, when you're talking billions of dollars, it's a few $1 million of pay. Zaslav gets $40 million in not revenue, but $40 million in like income and bonuses and stuff like that. Last year, I think it was $40 million. Take all of it. Take 39 million of that. Put it back in the bankroll. What does that pay? What is that? Especially when they're over $1 billion in the red for a quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like what? No, guys, it doesn't work that way. You got to be willing to pay for your stuff, and you got to adjust your consumption, not methods, but consumption expectations.
But it's also studios figuring out that you cannot survive off of streaming alone.
Nope.
Amazon specifically, and the Warner Brothers has figured that out. And the other thing they figured out is that exclusives also sometimes need physical media. Stranger Things, you can buy Stranger Things, you can buy The Boys, you can buy their shows, and then the other thing
money
is,
sitting on the table, Disney. You fracking idiots.
And
nobody's going to cancel their Disney Plus because you released Mando season 1 special Blu-ray collection on our physical media. Nobody's going to just go, I don't need Disney Plus anymore.
Yeah, and
stupid.
Cobra Kai is also on physical media. I know because I have it.
Yeah.
So my point is, they've also figured out that they need theaters. They absolutely need theaters to at least break even with the film. Look at the way, I love the way Amazon specifically is doing things, because I think that they've had quite a few movies that they really wanted to just do like an Amazon exclusive or an Amazon original. Creed's one of them. Air definitely is one of them, where I can see it would have just gone straight to streaming a while back ago, but now they're giving it at least some time in theaters to make some money and make some money for theaters, continue that relationship, and then still be able to put it under. All right, here's a great example. The VOD for Super Mario Brothers. How much money did that make in theaters? Obviously we know how much it did. We don't need to look up the numbers.
1.2 billion. Yep.
Billions of dollars. It hit VOD a couple of weeks ago, and it was one of the most bought movies by people at home.
I got my physical copy last week,
and people obviously were going to buy physical copies because it's Super Mario. So what did that movie lose by taking its time and going through the progression of theater, VOD, physical media?
Yeah.
It made a ton of money. It made an absolute ton of money.
Super Mario Brothers drove a record weekly digital sales for Redbox.
Yeah. So where did it get hurt by taking its time to get to streaming?
Mhm.
Because it'll eventually get to just straight streaming, but all the money they made.
Yeah.
And I think one of the examples I love is all these horror movies that were all supposed to go straight to streaming, that they're giving the opportunity to breathe in theaters, and then they make money. Why? Because people like horror as a genre, and
Mhm.
it's I kind of think it's more of an escapism thing where the world is actually pretty scary. Let me go check this film out. But what was the Boogeyman gonna do on Hulu?
Yeah.
Or what was Smile gonna do on Paramount Plus? Like, yeah, it would have been like, yeah, it's a good movie, but the theater experience is actually what's gonna push you to maybe go watch another one, and it like a B-list movie. You can call it a B-list movie. I guess that's what it is. The Pope's Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be meant to be in theaters the whole time, but it's a movie you could have easily argued that you could have put it on a streaming service, and now it started a franchise.
Yeah.
Because it did well enough where you're gonna be able to keep going, because it's cheap. Horror movies are fairly inexpensive.
Are always known for their inexpensiveness.
So just in general, like,
almost.
we didn't need to rebuild the house. The foundation of people going to theaters, people buying on VOD, and people buying on physical copy is there. Do you know what really matters? Making the product, making quality product. Yeah. That's what matters, because people watch it, people will recommend it, and then people will want to watch it again. If your product is crap, 100%. That's where it's gonna fail. That's where it's gonna do bad.
You never lied.
So it's just crazy. It's just crazy to watch 2024 as far as the market goes, where some people have figured it out, some people have, and I mean studios. Some studios have figured it out. Some studios are figuring it out, and you can tell who's making more money right now.
I don't remember when it was, but I was like, I wonder when studios are going to drag us back to the theaters kicking and screaming. They're doing it.
We're not kicking and screaming. I'll tell you. Oh,
there's people that are kicking and screaming. You've got people still, I hate the theaters. I'll just wait. I'm telling you guys, you might see that window between theater and home video, whether that's digital or physical. That window of it's going to be there in 45, 60 days. You might see that stretch out to that 90, 100 days. I mean,
yeah,
it's smart. It is the smart thing.
It's fun thing. because it's less about entitlement and more about, here's the product. If you want it, come get it. Yeah. It's not about, we're gonna give you this now. When you make people wait, and then you offer it to them in several different ways, you give them the opportunity to make the decision. Yeah. And if your decision is, I'm going to wait for it, then you just don't get to watch it. But we live also in a time and place where we are surrounded by boxes that tell us spoilers and things like that. Yeah. So it's hard sometimes to not watch something for a length of time, because you're accidentally going to run into something that gives an ending or a cameo or something away. Yeah, that's how it is. And I for at least for this year am enjoying kind of the resurgence of theaters, and some people fear. I don't love that HBO Max just changed its name to Max, because that alone seemed to have been the problem.
Hey, at least it's not Max Plus.
That was the topic of discussion, but I mean, that was such a smart move to mix with Discovery, because it offers so much more content. My Brittany is hooked on Max now because Dirty Jobs is on there, so that's her background show. Yeah. Emma is hooked on Max now because Ghost Adventures is on there. and she can just play that as her background show. I am currently going through every episode of The Big Bang Theory, and also it has all of my DC content. I'm like the Studio Ghibli, but I mean, there's this like wide array of content now. And so now what are they doing? Now they can, while you're hooked on your favorite past shows, you can now make sure your movies are in theaters, which Zaslav said that's all they're going to be doing now, is no more, if we're making movies, it's for theaters.
Yeah. Way it's supposed to be.
And then eventually just putting it on your streaming service, and then you got, I can watch this on streaming.
Yeah.
So it's cool, man. I hope that Disney figures it out by the end of the year, because I think for too long they have rested on their laurels. We're too big to fail.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. There's that good phrase, man. If I were in charge, here's how it would be. It would be 90 days in theaters, and then it would be 2 weeks of premium VOD, and then it would be home video, and it would not touch the streaming services, the regular streaming services, for at least 6 months.
I think that's good.
After theaters, because that way you really incentivize people to get it in the theater, purchase it on physical media. And guys, you can, all those that love your digital stuff, you are legally allowed, at least in the United States, you are legally allowed to rip your personally bought DVDs and Blu-rays. Look it up online. It is very easy to do these days. That is better than buying digital copies from a service that can shut down at any time, or see their contract and licensing changes, and then you just lost your entire library. You cannot express enough. And then take the discs and put them away somewhere. Recycle them if you really are just that dedicated to the digital thing. But I implore you, I beg of you guys, please back your own shit up away from somebody else's freaking contracts and services. Anyways, we're going to leave it there, Manny, unless you had anything super pressing else to go into.
No.
All right. Guys, check out more content here on the Genreverse YouTube channel and podcast network. Lots of anime reactions on the YouTube channel if you're into anime. Breaking Geek Radio, they do movie reviews each week. This week they will, of course, be talking about The Flash. So make sure you guys see. That's this week, right? Yeah. Make sure you guys see that. Check that out. If it's not a reaction video, the podcasts go up on all your favorite podcast apps. Right now, it's pretty much Breaking Geek and Delay-Cog, although I think we might be able to do a Cantina this week because there's actually some Star Wars news to discuss. And of course, lrmonline.com for written reviews, written news, rumors, celebrity interviews from the LRM YouTube channel, and more. All right, that's it. Manny, final word.
Preview night for the Blackenings tonight. Tomorrow, The Flash, Elemental. Hey, there's something out there for you in the theater. Get out there.
Bye.